Hello, Reds fans! Welcome to your news channel for the biggest club in the world. Let's start the video with this breaking news. Darwin Nunez's future at Liverpool remains uncertain as the second summer transfer window approaches. Since the end of last season, the striker has been constantly linked with a possible departure from Anfield, and the pressure surrounding his stay at the club increases day by day. With Liverpool already preparing for the new season, some moves in the transfer market are beginning to take shape. The signing of Jeremy Frimpong has been officially confirmed, and Florian Wirtz is getting closer to joining the Reds. However, Nunez's future remains open. Although the Uruguayan contributed 7 goals in the Premier League last season, his future at Anfield is still unclear, and speculation about his departure continues to grow. In recent days, rumors of a possible transfer to Saudi Arabia have gained momentum. Several clubs from the Saudi Pro League are reportedly interested in signing Nunez, although no specific names have been revealed so far. Al Hilal, a club previously linked with the player, is one of the teams mentioned in the speculation. With the transfer window set to reopen next Monday, new information has begun to surface. According to renowned journalist Fabrizio Romano, who shared the news on his social media, Nunez has reportedly been guaranteed that his future at Liverpool is about to be decided. Napoli, the current Serie A club, has reportedly made official contact with the Reds to express interest in signing the striker. While the Italian club's interest is still in its early stages, the move highlights the growing possibility of Nunez's departure. Nunez's transfer to Liverpool occurred in 2022, when the club paid an initial £64 million, approximately $86.6 million, to Benfica. However, the total transfer fee could rise to £85 million, around $115 million, if all performance-related targets are met during the player's contract. With Nunez possibly leaving, Liverpool is strongly rumored to be looking for a new striker to strengthen their squad this summer, which could lead to further movements in the Reds' transfer market. Given this scenario, Nunez's future at Liverpool seems increasingly distant, with clubs from various parts of the world, including Saudi Arabia and Italy, positioning themselves to secure his signature. The decision about the striker's destination, however, should be made in the coming days when the transfer window officially opens. Moving on to the next topic. Liverpool has been informed that, to sign Anthony Gordon this summer, an offer in the range of £75 to £80 million would be required. The player, currently at Newcastle, has sparked renewed interest from the Reds, who are closely monitoring the performance of the 24-year-old forward. However, Newcastle remains determined to keep their star player, and sources say the deal would be extremely difficult to finalize. In a recent appearance on the Inside Track podcast from Football Insider senior correspondent Pete O'Rourke shared the latest updates on Liverpool's efforts to secure Gordon's signing. The journalist explained that while Liverpool's interest is legitimate, the Magpies are in no rush to sell, especially now that the club has secured its qualification for the Champions League. This has strengthened their financial position and removed any pressure to sell their key players. In May 2023, Football Insider had already reported exclusively that Gordon was still on Arne Slot's radar, indicating that Liverpool was ready to reignite their interest in the player after a year of speculation. At that time, Anfield was very close to signing Gordon, but Newcastle decided to hold on to him, given the need to improve their financial health. Now, with recent Champions League qualification and a stronger position in financial fair play, FFP, Newcastle seems less inclined to part with their attacker. Nevertheless, sources close to the club suggest that Newcastle may eventually accept an offer for Gordon if it is sufficiently attractive. Mick Brown, former chief scout at Manchester United, told Football Insider that the club might consider selling the player to boost its revenue, but the sale price would have to be high due to his importance in Eddie Howe's team. Gordon, who signed a long-term contract with the Magpies in October last year after much speculation about his future, is seen as a key player in the squad. Football Insider cited that, to convince Newcastle to release the player, an offer in the range of £75 to £80 million would be needed. The high value reflects the club's strong position, as they no longer have the urgent need to sell their most valuable assets, especially with the promise of competing in the Champions League. O'Rourke also pointed out that the negotiation would involve several factors, and that Liverpool would only make a decisive move if certain conditions were met. If Luis Diaz were to leave Liverpool, whether for Barcelona, Saudi Pro League, or another club, that would open up space for a potential signing of a left winger. And Anthony Gordon is a clear option, given that he was very close to joining the Reds last summer, explained the journalist. Liverpool has been monitoring his performance this season, and if the opportunity arises, the interest will be revived. However, O'Rourke emphasized that, even with Liverpool's ongoing interest, the deal would not be simple. With Newcastle's Champions League qualification and the financial stability provided by FFP regulations, they are under no pressure to sell. A considerable amount would be needed to convince them to let Gordon go. Thus, the potential transfer of Anthony Gordon to Liverpool remains an open story, with many elements to consider, and the outcome will depend not only on the Merseyside club's interest, but also on Newcastle's willingness to negotiate one of their star players. The upcoming period of the transfer window promises more chapters in this negotiation, which is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing stories of the summer. Moving on to the final topic of the day. The battle for striker Hugo Ekitike has intensified, with Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea among the clubs now keeping an eye on the French player. The situation arose after Chelsea failed to secure the signing of the Eintracht Frankfurt player before the transfer deadline on June 10th, just before the Club World Cup. With the Blues still in negotiations with the Bundesliga club, the door for Ekitike's transfer to the Premier League remains open, but financial challenges may hinder the progress of the deal. The main obstacle for Chelsea, who initially seemed to be the favorite to sign Ekitike, is the high price of €100 million, around £85.2 million, set by Eintracht Frankfurt. This amount, especially for a 22-year-old player with no Premier League experience, makes the club hesitant. Although Ekitike has over 130 career games, the lack of experience in the English league makes the investment risky. In addition to Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool are also in the race, indicating that the striker's future could be in the Premier League. However, Eintracht Frankfurt is clear about its expectations. According to reports, the club is unwilling to negotiate the player for less than €100 million. This means that, unless Chelsea or any other interested club is willing to meet this demand, the player will remain in Frankfurt, even if that means he won't be transferred in this window. The club has also made it clear that this demand will remain valid for next season, as Frankfurt is playing in the Champions League and is under no pressure to sell its striker. The German club has already demonstrated, with the example of Egyptian Omar Marmoush, that they are capable of holding out until the last moment to secure the desired value in their transfers. The Guardian also corroborated the information that Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool are still interested in Ekitike, further increasing the competition for his signing. But the competition doesn't stop there. According to Sky Germany, Manchester United has also entered the race, further intensifying the Premier League giants' battle for the player. Despite having already signed Liam Delap from Ipswich Town and having Nicholas Jackson in the squad, Manchester United seems to be looking for another attacking reinforcement, which places the Red Devils in the mix for Ekitike. For clubs like Liverpool and Arsenal, strengthening the attack is a clear priority. Liverpool, for example, has struggled with a lack of consistent contributions from a central striker last season, which puts them in a position where signing a player like Ekitike would be welcomed. For the Merseysiders, in addition to the need to strengthen the full-back positions, signing a quality striker is one of the top priorities in this transfer window. The main question regarding Hugo Ekitike is whether his numbers in the Bundesliga are transferable to the Premier League. Although his performance in terms of goals and assists, particularly in relation to XG, expected goals, hasn't been as impressive as expected, he is still considered a player with great potential. His age and talent make him a good bet for any interested club, but adapting to the pace of the Premier League is still uncertain. Although Chelsea has been the club most associated with Ekitike, the difficulties in justifying the €100 million investment could open up space for rivals like Liverpool and Arsenal, who might take advantage of any failure in negotiations with Frankfurt. The big question now is who will be willing to pay that high price, and the competition for the striker promises to be one of the most interesting stories of this summer. Thank you for watching until the end. See you next time.